We are so excited to welcome Scotty Cunha and Fisher to the East Harlem School. We have two amazing speakers this morning. So thank you for being with us early in your morning. We know you're on the West Coast. We'll start with Tracy leading meditation as always, and then Ivan will give an introduction.
1, 2, 3. One, two, three.
Thank you, Tracy. Behind every great man and great woman seems to be a great woman named Devin Spurgeon. Devin has brought us two wonderful guests. Ms. Warren has already mentioned them, Fisher and Scotty Cunha. And thank you so much, Devin. Courtney and Anna Warren and everybody on our board, Scotty and Fisher, I mentioned it earlier that Devin is just, it's been a miracle to the school, and everybody on this call should know her name. I talk about you often, Devin. So thank you for bringing our guest. Today, the keynote, the theme is beauty. And I always take record. I don't know anything about beauty, obviously, but whenever I have to think about beauty, I go back to Junichiro Tanizaki wrote in 1933. He said, "We find beauty not in the thing itself, but in the patterns and shadows, the light and the dark that one thing against another creates." And so the two speakers today, even though they come from slightly different directions, one from the world of design and looking at fabric and texture, the other coming from the world of hairstyling, they both work with pattern and shadow and subtleties and shade, the relationships between things, and not just things in terms of hair and face, and but also with time and scene and social context, even climate, humidity. And they both carved out a life in the field of beauty using those elusive, ephemeral, and constantly changing variables, as I say, of personality, of place, of time, texture. They both carved out their own lives. And Devin had the charge when she really recreated this speaker series to find people who elegantly adapt to change, who create and share lives of deep meaning, dynamic virtue, and transcendent joy. And these two amazing people clearly fit Devin's charge. They again, through different directions, through using design and fabric, and then also hair, they create beauty, fleeting beauty, and then all over again the next day, they have to recreate it and capture somebody's personality, capture the moment, capture light, imagination. And they do that all to bring us moments of joy and inspiration. Behind the scenes, they bring magic to people's lives. So it's from this generous and distant remove from the immediate glamour of the footlights. So they're amazing people who are very modest, and just in the green room, they're a lot of fun, and there's great joy and laughter in their bearing, but there's enormous discipline because they have each created a life. So it's wonderful for us, because the mission of the school is to teach all you guys to find your way and create your own life. Don't be in this little cookie cutter. And so they've transcended all that. Devin, I am eternally grateful to you for many things, but today, most grateful for you bringing us Scotty, Cunha, and Fisher, and welcome. And you're on. You're on. Here we are. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That was an introduction.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. I love Ivan. So, do we start? Fisher?
Yeah, so I whatever
Me?
order you gentlemen want to do it, but
Okay, I'll introduce myself.
Okay, good.
Great. My name is Scotty Cunha. I am a celebrity hairstylist. I worked with the Kardashian and Jenner girls, Lucy Hale, Kristen Cavallari, Ashley and Jessica Simpson. I mean, pretty much the list goes on and on and on. I've been doing hair. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm a lot older than you. So I've been doing hair a very long time. And Fisher is one of my best friends. So I'm just so happy and excited to be here with him and all of you.
And I'll go next. Hi, everyone. My name is Jahil Alvarado McCaskill Fisher, but nobody can say it like at all. I learned at a very early age, like every time I would say, hi, my name's Jahil, they'd go, what? And then in middle school, which I hated personally, that's when I was bullied, everyone would call me High Heel. And then they'd be like, what's your mom's name? Flip Flop? What's your dad's name? High Heel. So that was really like painful. And then later on, when I was living in Chicago, a lot of people didn't know how to say my name in my job. I was working at a shoe store and they were like, what was your name? What was your name? Oh, I'm sorry, what's your name? So I finally was like, had a light bulb moment for just to make my life easier, which was going by my last name, Fisher, because Jahil was too like exotic. I don't know why, like America couldn't say my name, but I can feel like the tide is changing on that with people having so-called different names, but I still like naturally go towards introducing myself as Fisher, but I love Jahil. And if anybody can say it correctly, Jahil, I always appreciate it and stand by it, which is why I haven't legally changed my name to Fisher. I grew up in Arizona and and now I live in New York and LA, and I am a stylist. I work in film and television. So yeah, I've definitely paved a way for myself to make a living telling people how to look and what to wear, but that's not necessarily who I am inside. Like people are always like scared to say hi to me in my personal life. Like, oh, sorry, I'm not dressed up, or I don't have on my face, or please don't judge me right now. And I just don't do that in my personal life. I get paid to do that, to be like, you came in here, I have to tell you what to do because you are an actor, or you're making a guest appearance on Empire, a show that used to be on Fox. And it's like I would definitely compartmentalize into being like, hi, like I love you, but this is the character that you need to be. So even though you don't like red, your character likes red, so you have to wear it. So I had to learn how to find my voice and how to be confident in my decision, because once I had to make them feel confident because of my confidence. And then when they were on screen, everyone is looking at you. You have the director, you have lighting, you have the director of photography. Everyone is like judging and looking because they have to. It's a visual medium. But in my personal life, I don't really judge. And I think that's it.
That was so beautiful. Ms. Warren, should we go into questions? I'm glad we can call you Jahil. I'm sure everybody can pronounce it elegantly and here. So what do you think, Ms. Warren?
I think that's a great idea. We
Okay,
have
great.
so many questions for you both. The students will let you know. Some of them have questions for you both together, and some of them have questions directed just at one of you. So they'll let you know before they ask. Our first question comes from Catherine, and her question is for both of you.
Hi, Catherine.
Hi, good morning. I would like to thank you
Morning.
both for being our virtual speakers today.
Oh my God, anytime.
And this question is for both of you. You get the opportunity to work behind the scenes of many different productions. Can you describe what a typical day would look and be like on set?
Fish, do you want to go first?
Whatever. I'll go first.
Okay.
A typical day it's not a typical day. Every single so Scotty works it depends on how long the shoot is. Right now, my boyfriend is doing press for his new movie, and I have to. I'm styling all of the press. So, The Hollywood Reporter, Variety Magazine, Vanity Fair, all of these huge publications that are taking pictures and doing these Zoom calls. I have to we get a call sheet. First of all, you get a call sheet, you get an email, and it's like, hi, we're doing a virtual photo shoot, so this is what we need. Sometimes they send inspiration pictures. You have to. Sometimes it depends on the call time. So it'll be please be there at 5:30. Today's call time basically was 7:45. So you have to get ready for the day, whether it's hair, makeup, wardrobe. Each person has a different time. Then on set, if it's not a union shoot, if it's just a photo shoot, you're doing everything. You're like, hi, what's the backdrop look like? Are you doing a camera? Are you doing digitally? What are you doing? Then you have to figure out what you're gonna wear. You have to work with everybody around you, all your team members. If you have an assistant, you really use the assistant, because you're like, look, I need coffee, I need water, I need you to be over here. And right now, it's been a learning curve because we're doing all of this socially distant. So we're doing a lot of things outside. If we're doing a pandemic set, right now, my friend is working on doing a show called The Equalizer with Queen Latifah, and she, they have to do all of this 6 feet apart and in different zones. So the typical day is that it's not a typical day, and that you have to always just be aware of what's going on and what you need to achieve in as little as time as possible, because everyone has a hard out at a certain time.
And I did more photo shoots. I never really did TV or film, so I was always doing photo shoots. So that for me again was, we would, even though the photo shoot was for one day, we would be talking with the stylist and the creative director, the magazine, or the company that they were doing a brand for. Everyone had ideas, so we would be working on this one day for about maybe 5 or 6 days, going back and forth with inspiration, what I liked and what I was inspired by. And then you would talk to I'm the hairstylist, but you would talk to the makeup artist and, the photographer and all that stuff. So it would all kind of, we would all get together, a week before a photo shoot, even though it was one day. So that was really fun for me, because I got to really be inspired and get together looks and, inspirations and all that stuff. And then, to see it come to light and have it an actual finished product was really fun for me. Now it's been really crazy with, pandemic and all this stuff. Literally, this whole week is the biggest week I've had. I've worked every single day. I have a brand. So that day for me, I was actually packing boxes and printing UPS labels. And I'm a hairstylist. I never it was I was actually doing really hard work, lifting boxes and packing things and organizing and making sure I had all the right addresses and doing paperwork and stuff for me. So that was like, I was exhausted from that because that's not usually what I was doing. So, you know, that was a really crazy day for me. And then the next day after, I had a photo shoot for myself where I styled the outfits on myself. And, you know, just from this certain website, and it had to be, every look had to be able that you could shop from this website. So, and then I put the clothes on myself. So that was really fun. Like that was an amazing day. And we had to be quick because of COVID and all this stuff. And, you know, everyone was far apart. So I was working all these looks by myself and sending pictures to Fisher to say if they were good or not. And then, you know, I just put the looks together and it was great. And, you know, and now today is another amazing day. I'm talking to you guys, and yeah, every day is really different. It's really, really fun.
Thank you so much. We learned so much from you already, and we have more questions coming your way if you're up for them.
Yeah, for sure.
The next question comes from Alexa, and her question is also for you both.
Alexa, I love that
Hi, good
name.
morning. Thank you. You both already have so much experience working with all well-known celebrities. Is there anyone that you would like to collaborate with that you haven't worked with them yet? So yeah.
I'm obsessed with Rihanna. Like I love her. She's my number one. I would die to just have 1 or 2 hours with her and not freak out.
I think Rihanna, I love Rihanna. But I also love her stylist. You know, she, I know her hairstylist and Yusuf, and he does such a good job, and she's so well taken care of. It's like once a stylist has like, or like she goes through a couple stylists, but I know one, Mel Ottenberg, and once you have, and Elijah, and once you have like your team, it's kind of hard to go to try something new, you know? So a lot of, you know, and like in my mind, when I hear celebrity, I think crazy, because so many celebrities are like, really, they're just, for lack of a better word, a little crazy, because you have to be yourself all day. You're on camera. There's tons of people that just want to stare at you and touch you and like think that they own you. So when dealing with that kind of energy, you kind of have to, I don't really think of like a celebrity that I want to work with. It's just kind of like, I hope that if I come across a celebrity, that they're really cool, that they just say yes to everything that I show them, and they act like a doll, which is what a true professional celebrity would do. Just be like, like I hired you for a reason. Let the process take you over and like wash over you. And like that's why it's like you have to really trust. It's like a trust relationship. Even if it's just for a half hour or just for the day, you have to get the celebrity to trust you. And that is, once that happens, I would love to work with any celebrity. But if it doesn't happen, then it's kind of like going uphill with a huge rock.
Alexa, who's your favorite person? Who would you want to work with?
I don't know, but I guess Rihanna is really cool and I really like her.
Yeah, okay. I don't know, because I feel like, you know, things are different now. So there's like different celebrities. Like for me, like, you know, celebrities for me are like Kate Moss, and Rihanna is like my number one. And so I don't know, like, what I like, literally, I don't know what the kids are into. So I just wanted to, you know, see who you were really into or who you'd want to work with.
Thank you so much for that.
Of course.
The next question will be for you, Fisher, and it comes from Tracy, who you've already met.
Hi. So yeah, my question is for Fisher. And in your bio, I read that you were a costume designer for the show Empire. And on that show, the characters are really glammed up, especially Cookie. So my question for you is, how much creative freedom do you have when styling the characters, and what inspires you to do these designs?
Okay, so with so this is where I got to be a creative director and not a costume designer. So I had to, so when I first read the pilot of Empire, I I envisioned this character Cookie as this really like cool street chic mixing high low things together. So I went to Lee Daniels, the creator, and my boyfriend, and was like, you need to put her in like Timberland boots, holy jeans, and like a really amazing like fur. And and I was like, he was like, okay, great, do it. And I was like, I don't want to do it, but my other bestie, I have two besties, Scotty, who you've met, and then Paulo Nidu, who needs to come on here. I was like, you need to hire this costume designer. Like he can envision my look, but like on the ground every day. So I collaborated. I hired the costume designer Paulo Nidu, and you tell him what your vision is. He read the pilot, and that's how Cookie came to life. So it was really like 3 people that made her as bombastic as she is. And one of my favorite characters, she was so easy to dress. When you talk about trust, Taraji P. Henson came in like a Barbie doll. And she was just like, hi, I trust you, I trust Lee, I trust Paulo. And it just happened. It took 3 people to really make her character, the show, into what it was.
Thank you so much for that, Fisher. And our next question is for you, Scotty, and it comes from Sit Lolly.
Hi.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
I read that on your journey to pursuing your dreams, you were once a Starbucks barista, which you described to be one of the hardest jobs you ever had. So my question for you is, do you have any advice for us on how to overcome challenges that arise on our own paths to reaching our dreams?
I would say just to stick with it and really like just keep going and keep your eyes on the prize. Even though I worked at Starbucks, it was really, really a hard job, like manual labor. And, waking up at 4 a.m. is so miserable. But I knew that I had to do something and pay my rent somehow. So I got to still talk to people, and I got to like meet people, and, I would get in trouble for like popping my collar, and like I would wear the tightest khakis. Like I still got dressed up. And so, even though I was at Starbucks, I still felt like I was like myself, and I got to like wear what I wanted to wear. And so I would say kind of like stick to like who you are, even though you might not be in the job that you want to be in. Just keep your eyes on the prize and just envision where you want to go and where you want to be, and be yourself in that job, and just know that you'll get to the job that you want to get to, as long as you're being yourself and show up on time, and just know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you will get to where you want to get to if you persevere and, stay strong and just keep your eyes on the prize. That's what I said every morning when I woke up.
Good advice. Thank you so much. And our next question is for you, Fisher, and it comes from Geraldine. You might notice some of our students are here with us at school. Geraldine is at home.
Hi, Geraldine.
Hi, good morning. So I saw the trailer for United States versus Billie Holiday, and I love the costumes used in the trailer. So my question for you is, what was your favorite costume or outfit that you created so far in your career, and why?
Thank you so much for that question. So again, Billie Holiday was a project of love, and my best friend, again, Paulo Niedu, I hired him to be the costume designer for the movie. And I also came up with the idea to invite Prada, the brand, the woman behind the brand, Miuccia Prada, who we call Mrs. Prada. I was like, look, we should collaborate with a huge global brand, so everyone knows when this movie comes out, it can have the support of Mrs. Prada with the world, hopefully, when it comes out on February 28th. But my favorite costume, because I was there every day, kind of like styling, directing, creative directing with hair, makeup, and wardrobe. And I told Paulo, I think my favorite outfit was the one that you see in the ads. She's wearing, Billie Holiday is wearing a white strapless gown, and it's all encrusted with these huge rhinestones that goes all the way down. I wish you could have seen it in person. Like even though you see it on screen, it's like gorgeous, but like in person, it was so like when she came out on stage, fully dressed with her hair and her makeup, and she was singing Strange Fruit, her song that Billie Holiday was known for. It was just like a moment when you know that everything is like working in your life. Like, when you're supposed to be in the right place at the right time, and everything's like, just everything is great. Your coffee order didn't get messed up. You are feel cute. You are like just doing everything is going right. It all came down to that moment. It was like a feeling. That was like my favorite outfit, if I had to choose.
That's so amazing. Thank you so much. And we're also looking forward to the show. We're all very excited. Our next question is for you, Scotty, and it comes from Sochika Tsali.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
As a celebrity hairstylist who has worked with influencers like the Kardashians, how do you stay updated with all the latest hair trends in Hollywood?
Well, now I think like I used to, look at magazines and I would be like, oh, I'm obsessed with this look. And I would, try to recreate it. But now it's like with the internet, I just kind of like will Google or search for someone that I have always loved, like old photos of Kate Moss I'm obsessed with. I love, like, again, I'm obsessed with Rihanna. And so I would just like look at, or like one of my like favorite red carpet looks, I'll Google that, like, oh my God, that person looked so good. I want to recreate that look in my own way. So I kind of just, try to remember like certain looks that like made me feel a certain way. And then I try to recreate it. And it kind of, starts a trend when you're doing, you're bringing back looks and things like that. I would start my own trends or stuff like that, just by, inspiration that I had from things I had seen before.
Thank you so much, Scotty. And we actually have one more question for you from Euritzi, who you've already met in the green room.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
I read that you were able to go on tour with Miley Cyrus. Can you describe what a typical day would look like for a hairstylist on tour?
Yeah, tour is wild. And that was my first tour ever. So I had no idea what to expect. It was literally a whole new experience. And I was so excited. It was crazy. I traveled the world for a year and I can't believe it. I went everywhere. Fisher even met me on tour. Like, it was amazing. Yep. And we had so much fun, but the day is long. Like, it is such a long day. Like, your like sleeping situation is crazy. You're getting on buses. Like, some mornings we would have to wake up super early at like 5 a.m. to get on the bus so that we could get to the location. Or some locations we're so far away. Sometimes the show would get canceled due to weather, or if Miley got sick, and then we would have to drive back to that location. So that was like, literally we were on a bus one day for 14 hours, like driving. It was so hard, but usually we would wake up, we would work out because we wanted to like, feel fresh for the day, even though we were exhausted from the night before. And then we would start to get into hair and makeup around 3, which was kind of early because Miley's show was early at the time because it was, she was like 18. So her show started at like 8. And then we would rehearse, then we would do sound check, then we would have a break for dinner, and then we would get back into glam right away. And then she would go on about 8:15. And then we would be done at like 10:30, jump back on the bus, couldn't sleep because we were so excited. So we would like watch movies, eat like the worst food, stop like Popeyes, any fast food you can imagine, make the bus drop us off there, pick up food, and then stay up till like midnight watching random movies, or like at the time, like Lady Gaga's like Bad Romance. So we would literally we would like practice how to do the dance moves for the Bad Romance video, like every night till like 12:31 a.m. And then again the next day.
Wow, it sounds like quite the adventure.
It was.
All right, we're gonna go next to Zaida, who has a question for you, Fisher.
Hi, Zaida.
Hi, it's really nice to meet you. So fashion is always evolving throughout the years as people invent new styles and trends. And my question for you is, have you ever considered starting your own clothing line?
Ooh, good one.
Good question. Somebody just DM'd me that on Instagram. That must be like, what's the energy around me right now? I don't think so. I feel like there's so many people. I feel more like a stylist and more like a creative director and a producer who, like, every time there's a project that comes up, I think of my main girls, which is Scotty and Paulo first. Scotty always says no because he doesn't like on hours, or if it's like a project, he's like, because he knows what that set is like kind of boring sometimes, he'll be like, no, I'm not. But I kind of like to surround myself with my team of people that support and believe in me. So while I don't want to have a clothing line, I definitely would like to consult on a clothing line, just to be like, you know, bounce ideas off of me and each other. And I'm more like a collaborative person than being like a designer, you know?
I had a hat line, and Fisher actually drew out the outfits that the models were gonna wear. And so we, after he created the look with my hats and the outfits, we like found the look. So he definitely is like the creative producer type.
Amazing. All right, our next question is for you, Scotty, and it comes from Melissa.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I read in your biography that you work with the Kardashians, and I'm a really huge fan of them. And I was wondering if you could share your favorite memory you have while working with them.
Wow. Okay, so I worked with them for like 10 years, so I have a lot of memories. It's just like when you work with someone for that long, you stay friends with them. And I might not do their hair every single day now, but we always talk. So I think, what's my favorite? Oh my God, I know it. I'm sorry. Kim's wedding in Paris was the best experience. My work experience, the best work experience of my life was Kim's wedding in Paris to Kanye. It was amazing. We were there for a week. We literally did glam every morning, and then we went to lunch, and then we shopped, and then we went out to dinner, and then it all ended with Kim's wedding, and we flew. She didn't tell us this, but she got us, literally got the whole wedding party in the glam squad, which was a lot. There was 10 of us. And we flew to Italy for the day of the wedding. So we were in Paris for a week, having the best times of our lives, shopping around, and then she flew us to Italy, literally where she got married. And then her wedding day was amazing. It was just so much fun, and it was an amazing time.
Amazing. It sounds incredible.
It was wild.
Our next question is for both of you, and it comes from Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi.
This question is for the both of you. I have researched some of your work and I admire your artistic talents. Have you ever had a moment where a client disagreed with your artistic vision? If so, how did you overcome that challenge?
Were you guys able to hear her okay? I know her sound's a little low. I can.
I couldn't hear her.
Okay, let me repeat.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. So her question is.
It's a great question, Crystal.
It is. She said, I've researched some of your work and I admire your artistic talents. Have you ever had a moment where a client disagreed with your artistic vision? And if so, how did you overcome that challenge?
Cry and then choke.
I have had to do a ponytail. I want to say I had to redo a ponytail 10 times once. And it was so hard. I was shaking, I was sweating, I was miserable. And she would just not give up on this ponytail. And I just was like, okay. So I did it literally 10 times. And finally, the last time that we got the okay, I was just like, thank you, God. Thank you, God.
So I had a client, so we did a show. We did a show like 3 or 4 years ago. And I actually have like 2 stories if you want to hear.
Yes.
But one was I had to style this girl for a red carpet. But the girl, it wasn't the girl, it was the corporation was paying for the girl to promote their brand on the red carpet. So I had to work with the girl the actress who didn't like anything. Like everything that I like, no. And then she would say yes to something. I had to take the picture and send it to the client, who then said no. No. So we went on for, I think, 4 days of her, like, it was like a 3-way fight of like having to make the actress happy while also making the client who was paying me happy. So we finally did it, but it was definitely perseverance and having to never give up. Like I was going through everything, all my mantras, like you're not desperate, you're worth it, always love yourself, like every single day, to be like, because if your energy changes and you're like in a bad mood, or if you have an attitude with the actress or the client, it changes everything. Like you always have to be professional, but it was a real challenge. Like I could not believe that, it was just a dress at the end of the day, but a lot of people have a lot of opinions, and you just have to, what I say is thug through it. You have to thug through it.
That's a great
good one.
Hey, Ms. Warren, they spilled the tea, but they didn't name names. I'm just saying.
All right, I'm going to go next to Jocelyn, who has a question for both of you as well.
Hi, good morning.
Morning.
All your hard work is evident in the success of your careers. So my question for you is, what are some of your strategies in maintaining a work-life balance?
I don't have one. It's work all the time, but work when you love it. I can't believe I'm saying this, but when you love what you do and you're passionate in your creative field, it's not really work. So it does become your life in a really fun way, but also really stressful. So I'm still literally managing that right now. Scotty?
Same. Just thug through it.
All right, thank you so much. And I have another question for both of you, and it comes from Leslie, who's here with us at school.
Hi.
You both moved to big cities early on in your journeys of chasing your dreams. What was it like moving away from your hometown? And what advice would you give about adjusting to a new city?
Scotty?
I went to beauty school when I was 17, and I knew I wanted to like work, and I knew I wanted to move. So I moved right away to LA because I grew up on the East Coast, and I knew I wanted to be somewhere totally different. So I moved all the way to the West Coast, which was completely different. And I worked at Starbucks, and I just knew that I had a vision where I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And then I was really lucky enough to meet Fisher, and he was literally one of my first best friends ever in LA. And he moved at a really young age, and we literally have been friends forever. And I was really lucky to have that one person that kind of helped me get through it when I was going through it and being like, oh, this is so annoying. Why do I have to do this? This is so hard. And I took the bus for the first time with Fisher. Do you remember that?
Duh, public transportation. I was so scared when I moved to Chicago first from Arizona. And it was really scary, like it was like scary, but also exciting. It was like finding who you are. Like you think you know who you are now, but I barely know who I am now. Like it's really been a journey about finding friends that support you. Like I had a friend who I thought was a friend until I met Scotty, and I was like, oh, your friend doesn't put you down all the time? Oh, your friend supports you and asks about how you're doing? Like I didn't know Scotty, who every time we ran into each other or saw each other, just be like, oh my God, you look so great. What do you want to do today? And I'd be like, oh my God, you look great. What do you want to do today? So it was like really like positive reinforcement, because you don't, and I didn't even know what that was until later on in life, because I was so used to people like tearing me down or trying to be like having a weird competition. So it was really important when I moved from a small town to just like trust, you just kind of have to trust the process of like finding a good friend, learning what a bad friend is like, how to break up with a friend, which is, you'll always have my heart, but I can no longer be your friend. And then, going from there, you have to like get a job, find what place, go on the internet and be like, what do I like? What's a cool place to like go to a fun park? Like when you go to somewhere, I met a friend in a thrift store, one time, like we both kept on like being in the same area, and that was like totally cool and random, but you never know. You just have to, I'm just glad I took the chance from moving from a small town, Tucson, Arizona, to just keep on seeing what my life had to offer. Like going to a big city, going to a small city, like you don't know until you try it. So definitely try it.
Thank you both so much. And we want to be mindful of your time this morning. Do you have time for 2 more questions?
I have all the time. I have nothing but time.
Yes.
Hey, Ms. Warren, along with these other 2 questions, Jahil spoke very compellingly in the beginning about, childhood. At the end of these 2 questions, if they could just reflect on what their middle school years were like, and then, then maybe we could finish with that after the questions.
That sounds wonderful.
All right, thank you.
All right, I'll go next to Andre, who has a question for both of you.
Hi. So my question is for both of you. And so now that you have established success within your careers, what is some advice that you would give your younger self when you were just starting out in this industry?
Ooh, that's a good one.
Are you going first?
Fisher? Okay, I'll go. Sorry, my internet is being weird now. I'm so sorry. It's like a little bit slower. I'm so sorry, bear with me.
No worries at all. No, it's great.
Okay, it's being like a little weird right now. I would say to my younger self, be yourself. Like, don't ever, ever give up on who you want to be, because you will get there.
First of all, I am my younger self, so I don't know what I would tell. I feel like this is me young. Like if I had to tell my 18-year-old self, it would definitely, it would be like to have more confidence. You have to build up. For me, I didn't have a lot of confidence. We can get into that at the end of my middle school years, but like I didn't know like how, I didn't see myself how other people saw me in a negative way. I would just be like, oh, nobody cares, why bother? I would now tell myself, or what I tell my nephew is, everyone, you know, like, don't care about what people say about you, but you should care about something, care about it, be vocal, find your voice, do it, just do. If you want to start a card line, you know, my nephew draws. If you want to do that, then do it. Like, start. How do you start? Just, who knows? You have to start drawing, start the card line, start promoting it on Instagram. Like, I would definitely tell my younger self to go for it more.
That's great advice. Thank you so much. And we'll go to our final question, which comes from Alfredo.
Hi, Alfredo.
Hi.
Good morning. I would like to thank you for being our whole school time speaker. And my question is for both of you. You both are consistently working on successful projects with many famous people. What are some of your upcoming projects that we should keep an eye out for?
My upcoming projects are, thank you for that question. Thank you for being interested. There's the United States versus Billie Holiday. It's a movie. It's coming out on Hulu on the 28th of February this month. And I am working on a pilot, a series for BET Plus called The Miss Pat Show. That's really exciting. It's a comedy, a half-hour sitcom starring Miss Pat, who's a comedian, and it's really, really, really funny. I'm excited about that. And then I have two projects that just got picked up too. One is called The Wonder Years, and it's a remake of an old television show that when I was your age was on television. And then another show, a book that we turned into a show called The Spook Who Sat by the Door. So those are things that I'm really excited to be a part of.
And I am coming out with, I have a product, it's a hair mask called Rose Rescue. And so I've been like really working hard on the next product because I obviously want to have a brand and multiple products. So I'm working on a few coming up with ideas on what my next product is going to be so that it goes kind of with my hair mask. And I just did a really fun photo shoot that I can't wait for everyone to see for Revolve. That will come out, and I am really excited about that.
Amazing. Thank you both so much. We will look for all of your upcoming projects. And as Ivan said, would you mind ending with just telling us a little bit about, you know, your own childhood and middle school experiences? That would be so inspiring for us.
Yes, middle school was really hard. I think it's almost like my middle school, like I literally was like, I was like wanted to do drama, and I was like always wanted to like be in plays and all that stuff, and I was bullied. And so I kind of like from middle school to like I want to say from like 5th to 8th grade, I kind of like blocked that out because it was just I was awkward, and I didn't know what gay was. I just knew that I was different. And then the internet came out, thank God. And then I was like, oh my God, this is what I am. I'm gay. Like I like boys. And so when I got to high school, I was like, didn't care. And I was like living my full life and being like, I'm gay. And I didn't really have to like come out. But like if someone asked me and they said like, oh, like, are you gay? I'd be like, yeah, why? Like, I was like, then my dad used to make me play soccer. That was another thing in middle school I hated. And he was like the coach of my team, and I hated soccer, but he was like obsessed with soccer. And so when I got to high school, I was like, please don't make me play soccer anymore. Like, he's like, well, you have to do something. And I was like, okay, I want to be a cheerleader. And so I was like the only cheerleader. Like I would have to like get, one of the things is like when we went to other schools, like all the good kids would bully me and like call me the worst things ever. So then I would have to wait with the football team, which I loved because they would like escort me out, which was like, I loved being around all the boys, like James Bucci. I still love him to this day. And he like, so that was really fun. I like didn't like, as I got older, like I was going through it and I was being bullied, and I was like, you know, the star of the school play, and like I was a cheerleader, and I was like loving my full life. I was like literally the most popular. Like I loved it. But like looking back on it, I was like, oh my God, I was focused on like who I was supposed to be and like what I wanted to do. So I kind of like didn't pay attention to what was going on. And now when I look back and I tell this story over and over and over again, I was really hard and I was really badly bullied. But at that time, I didn't see it that way. I was like, oh, who cares about them? Like, I'm concerned about me and only me. I'm gonna go to LA and be famous. Like, that's literally what I said all the time. And then when I tell the story, I'm like, oh wow, that was really bad. Like, you know, when I got my first car, they let the air out of my tires, and I was just like, oh, whatever. Like, my dad came to help me, and I like literally like pushed my car to the gas station, like, and I didn't care. I was like, moving on, next day. And then, you know, I was really lucky though that I did get to have older friends that were in high school, because they were telling me like this, like when I would tell them stories, they would say, don't worry, like this isn't how it is outside. Like school is like, the kids are terrible, bullies are bad. Like, don't worry, like there's people like you out there. So I really was thankful for that. I'm really lucky that I had that I knew that there was something else besides, you know, what had happened to me in, you know, middle school and high school. I hope that was okay.
It was wonderful. Thank you.
I could not, my middle school experience was traumatizing. It was 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. Everyone would be like, I wouldn't get gay bashed. It was more, I used to look like a girl, and in Tucson, Arizona, everyone would come up and be like, are you a boy or a girl? Are you a boy or a girl? I like still remember it like it was yesterday. It was really, and then I had to always have like my tagline, like, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I was always like sassy, but it was always like a nightmare going to middle school. And then they would, they call it, which was also really upsetting. And then it was just like traumatic, but I didn't really, my parents were really, really, really helpful with like, I'd come home and just be like, not know, like shell shocked. You know, you're trying to, I had one friend, and then that friend would get made fun of from his like friends, and then he would stop talking to me. So that's how like the cycle would go. And like Scotty, I didn't know what gay was. Like later on, I was like, oh, is that what that is? But my parents like normalized it. Oh, I didn't really, like Scotty, I didn't have to come out. Oh, another thing, I was even afraid coming on here because it was like, oh my God, middle school people are asking me why I sound like a girl, which people still do. You sound like a girl. Why do you girl? You know, later.
I think we get ma'am on the phone once a day.
Yeah. Then, but my parent, you know, helped me through it. And then, you know, you just kind of have to go through, like, I'm not a quitter. And I just went through middle school, like as a blur. Like, I don't really remember 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. I kind of wish that the internet and FaceTime and Zoom meetings were there in, you know, in a small town, so I could see what other people were doing and what other people were like, or people like me. But there was never, everybody who, like, I was the person who was different. So, and all of the rooms that I went into, I had to be different. So I kind of one day was just like leaned into it and was like, okay, I'm the different one, let me be different. So I would like that's where like my creativity kind of flourished in the under pressure way. Like I would just wear crazy clothes. To afford crazy clothes, I wanted to get a job. So I would just be like cleaning my parents' friends' rooftops and like being like a houseboy everywhere, like cleaning, sweeping, doing anything for money, and then going to get a weird clothing. And then it would be like, if you were bullying me, I knew that like I could be, that's where I love Rihanna, because she was like, I knew that I could always like dress better or draw better or like do something that was like interior, like to help me go through the trauma of middle school. But I really do feel honestly that it did make me the person I am today, which it like I like it took like what I didn't want and didn't want to feel like. I wanted to do the opposite. So I really, you know, I don't think I would do middle school again, but I'm kind of like it, that's the only thing that you get out of being bullied at the end of the day.
Thank you both so, so much. We're so grateful that you spent your morning with
And
us.
I just want to say one thing. If anybody needs to like reach out to me for anything, any advice or anything, please, I will give you my email. You can reach out to me anytime. I can help you with anything. If you're struggling with anything, please let me know, because I wish that I had that person.
Thank you so much for that.
And stay with me. You have my Instagram handle, you have my cell phone and my email. I'd be happy to answer questions or one-on-one or whatever you guys need.
Thank you both so much for that. That means
Yes.
the world. We are so grateful for your time.
We love you. Stay strong.
We'll wrap things up with Tracy leading a moment of silence, as she always does, to take in everything that you've shared with us this morning. And then Ivan will give some final remarks.
1, 2, 3. One, 2, 3.
Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, Devin. Yeah, and I said the keynote was going to be about beauty, and yeah, this is really, you guys. Yeah, thank you so much, Devin. I mean, your friends, Jahil and Scotty, you really got to the depths of the beauty of the human spirit. You know, we try and show our students that happiness and joy come from the things that you embodied this morning for us: creativity, critical thinking, collaboration, cooperation. You know, I was furiously scribbling notes as you were speaking from the beginning, Jahil, when you said America couldn't say my name. I mean, that's just so musical and poetic. I mean, it would be a wonderful title for a poem, and it speaks to the hearts of our demographic here in Spanish Harlem. I mean, you spoke about relationship, awareness, trust, showing up on time, being yourself, and not, it wasn't just what you said, but the way you said it. It was imbued with joy and compassion and the deep discipline that you have too. It came forth as well. So, we've wanted to have people in front of us who embody the things that will inspire our students. But I'll promise you, you inspired this older adult and all of the young colleagues I work with as well. It was, Devin, I'm not putting pressure on you, but George Lucas and Glenn Close and Lewis Thomas, Formula One 7-time world champion, that this was our greatest speaker series. I think, Ms. Warren, you correct me, and it's not right to compare. Everybody glows with their own individual spirit and light, but what courage and what joy, and those qualities of courage and joy, the fact that two people could show those things, and just also your wonderful relationship with each other on the screen. It was such a treat. So Devin, thank you so much. I'm going to ask Devin, if you have any other words, and then I'd like us to finish up with I mean, Scotty and Jahil, you spoke so beautifully, but if you have any final reflections for us, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I personally want to thank everyone. And the reason that I brought Fisher and Scotty in is because they are two people that are very special to me, that I'm constantly in contact during the day. And sometimes when you just see their name pop up on your phone, I immediately laugh and smile and feel such joy. And I think more and more you realize who you surround yourself with. And I never leave talking or chatting or texting or speaking to Scotty or Jahil. I'm gonna have to. Now I feel bad just calling you Fisher. I'm changing it all, and I'll get it right. Get it right. Yes. But I am the America that can't say your name, so I've got to fix that. But I really wanted everyone to see the joy and the rawness of their journey and the messiness of it, because I think it's emblematic of what we all go through, especially now with everything you all are struggling with COVID and just, the drama of what life is, and just being able to see people that went through it and walk through it with you. To me, it was very inspiring, and I'm grateful to everyone for letting me sit here and participate. And you know how much I love you guys. So thank you. And I'll turn it back over.
Love you.
Yeah, my final words are just thank you so much for thinking of me for talking. Who knew I could talk about myself for another hour, I think. But yeah, I love thanks just so much for even doing this, building like something that is just feels really good to do. I want to do more. I'd love to just be anything you guys need. I'm definitely around. The pandemic has really forced everybody to figure out what their priorities are, and we're all just going through the same thing. I feel like it doesn't matter where you are, 8th grade, out of school, we're still having to deal with the same everyday struggles.
I just cried. But anyway, thank you guys so much. I love doing this. And again, if anybody needs to reach out, please do. Please do. Don't be afraid.
Beautiful. Anything else, Ms. Warren?
That's it. That was so wonderful. Thank you both so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Devin.
Thank you.
Jahil.
Have a
Thank
good
you, Scotty.
weekend.
Bye.
It's Friday.
Happy Friday.
Bye-bye.